The Alps, a 1,200-kilometer barrier of rock and ice. This 120-million-year-old mountain range features summits of over 4,000 meters above sea level. Some say the glaciers were already there before the mountains rose up. Then nature enabled birds to fly over them. Here, the horizon meets icy, windswept walls everywhere. Prey fears predators as much as on the plains. But more than anything, all animals must be able to develop strategies to survive the winter. The golden eagle. This bird can perform air acrobatics in a windstorm, swooping at 200 kilometers per hour. This formidable flying hunter will have to share its territory with another bird of prey with a 3-meter wingspan, the bone-breaking bearded vulture. Shot over 7 years and exclusively with free wild animals, this film tells the tale of the masters of the sky. Late March. It's snowing, and this female golden eagle has just laid a second egg. The couple occupies a nest that's been empty for 3 years. It's the beginning of 6 long weeks of brooding under the safe overhang. -4 degrees Celsius. Since the eagles lay their eggs only once a year, exposing their most precious treasure to the cold is out of the question. The female must not leave the nest. The male goes hunting. Lying in ambush, the eagle examines the situation. For him, squirrels are among smaller prey. His 2.2-meter wingspan does not play in his favor. In the large branches, he's not likely to catch a squirrel. Golden eagles can adapt their hunting strategies depending on the prey, or give up. Three kilometers away from the nest on the south side, this cliff is the wintering place of a herd of ibex. In late March, among the ungulates weakened by cold and hunger, natural selection is merciless, and on the icy slope, accidents are not uncommon. Yesterday, a great male fell. The eagle is wary before going to the carcass. A fox and crows are evidence that the place is safe. Flying at full speed in the snow or between large branches exposes the eagle's eyes to potential wounds. But nature fitted them with deep eyebrow arches and translucent membranes that act as windscreen wipers. In winter, the formidable hunter willingly turns into a carrion bird. Throughout his life, he has been through endless storms, skies overcast with thick clouds that prevented him from hunting or looking for carrions, and even forced him to abstain from eating for about 10 days. Tomorrow, everything may be covered with snow. Foxes will have hidden the leftovers. In a single meal, starving eagles can triple their average daily ration of 250 grams of meat. Birds of prey used to dominate almost all of Europe. For centuries, eagles were relentlessly hunted down by man, so they fled to remote valleys. Over the last 50 years, things have changed a lot. Birds of prey are strictly protected. With 1,300 couples of golden eagles flying over the Alps, the species is now safe. 40 days have passed. On this morning in May, an eaglet was born in the nest on the Great Cliff. It's a female. The small 100-gram fluffy ball keeps warm under her mother, awaiting the second egg to hatch. Three days later, a young male has broken his shell. In the first days, the mother stays in the nest to care for her young and feed them with the prey brought by the male. On the menu, only fresh meat. Without their mother's help, they would starve to death next to the marmot, which they are unable to rip apart. The female allows herself a short flight and is repeatedly assaulted by a common kestrel and a carrion crow, which also nest on the cliff. The male brings branches of stone pine. He does not stay long, but while the female is away, he remains constantly next to the eyrie. The young female exhibits behavior that is common in eagles during the first 2 weeks of their lives: siblicide. The adults are watching the nest but do not intervene. Female birds of prey are always bigger than males, and being 3 days younger, the male is not likely to survive. The next day, only one eaglet is still alive in the nest on the Great Cliff. Such behavior is not systematic. In 10 years, the couple has raised 2 pairs of eaglets that have left the nest. 100 kilometers further south, a bearded vulture explores new horizons. This adult with a 2.8-meter wingspan has been roaming for months. In Europe, Africa, and the Himalayas, bearded vultures glide above the wild steppes and mountains. Everything in these birds' morphology enables them to travel long distances. In search of a territory, he flies north. On the 4,000-meter summits, winter is year-long. In May, in the higher valley, every new day frees the mountains from the snow. For some, deprivation is now over. For others, the hunting season is open. Four kilometers away from the Great Cliff, another couple of eagles have consolidated their nest near the waterfalls. Food abounds in the higher valley, so the two couples can coexist as long as they respect each other's 60 square kilometer territory. The male marks his territory with an undulating flight. To the other eagles, the message is clear. The higher valley is a mosaic of invisible territories, and one must belong to the same species to understand its laws. Two eaglets were born here too, but 20 days later than those from the Great Cliff. The eldest nestling does nothing else but follow his instinct. The smaller one tries to escape his brother and steps out of the safe zone. Nature leaves no choice to the masters of the sky. This necessary tragedy maximizes the surviving eaglet's chance of getting food and surviving in a world where there's no room for pity. On the same cliff as the waterfall nest, a 16-gram predator goes hunting. A wall creeper draws closer to the heap of branches, to which a multitude of insects have flocked, drawn to the carrion. Several generations of eagles have used this eyrie for over a century. The Great Cliff has been hidden by clouds for the past 4 days. The sky is torn. The fog and rain are regarded as a gift by some, but to the eagles they're a handicap. All their hunting attempts have failed. 1,800 meters above sea level, the 6-week-old eaglet is hungry. The two adults make the most out of the sunny spell. Whereas the female tries her luck on the south side, the male dashes to 2,200 meters, where female chamois form a herd. Full-grown chamois are far too big and hard to catch. However, a newborn kid is an attainable target. In a herd, females are on the alert. They instinctively know the predator is not far away. They can sense his presence. The eagle is lying in ambush on a ridge. The sun did not stay long. The lesser the visibility, the harder the hunt. Fortunately, there's only one eaglet to feed. He's nestling under the overhang. Hunger adds to the cold and wet weather, making a dangerous combination for a juvenile. The eagle is waiting. He's on the lookout for the opportune moment. With a swoop, the eagle reaches his maximum speed. Folding up his wings like a fighter jet to